Welcome into the Pop Culture Pile Driver. I am Jason Rossi. You can follow me personally on the old Twitter machine at Jason D. Rossi. You follow us at Pop Culture PD. We're not the police, but we just can't fit too many characters in a Twitter handle. With me, as always, is my tag team partner in the podcast and streaming sphere. He goes by Billy D. Billy D, what's going on?
You might see some police today. You never know, actually. Don't stand so close to me. You can see Sting out there. He could be a pick. A little bit of a bass player, a little bit of a singer.
I will also say that is a great song for your past history, because I remember when you were studying to be a teacher, I used to say, Bill, you're totally going to bang a student.
Well, I did not. I got out in plenty of time, so it was never in question.
So you did or you didn't?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay. Anyways, so today's topic, we're super excited. Something a little different we're going to be throwing at you. We'll be getting to in just a few minutes. We're going to be creating the greatest song ever. The reason we're tagging it with Volume 1, because there'll probably be many more volumes, and just leave us the creative control to come back to this. Bill, we always like to start the podcast by telling the good fine folks where they can find us on Twitter. Don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify. I think I said it last week, and I'll use it from going forward. If it's a podcast app, we're on there. Just search Pop Culture Pile Driver. 3 words, PCP, get addicted to the content. Follow us on Twitter. We're still striving, Bill, for 105, and I will take a picture of myself taking a dooski like Robin Williams in a 1 hour photo. So that isn't reason enough to give it a follow. I don't know what it is. It's that Pop Culture PD. You can follow us on and subscribe to us on the old YouTube channel where we record these podcasts live. You can do so by searching Pop Culture Pile Driver. And I think that's it for the plugs. Anything else plug away?
We're at 64 followers on Twitter, so we got some work to do.
We got 51 to go, so strive for 105, and you will see me taking a dump, kind of. Aside from that, Bill, what is on your mind?
I got some Chicago-style deep dish pizza inbound right about now. Should be arriving at the door around 9 o'clock. They said it's the latest delivery time. Got 4 on the way. Going to have a little pizza party tomorrow night. Going to be a lot of fun.
Who's invited to this pizza party?
That's on a need-to-know basis, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, I know I didn't get the invite, and that's okay. I'm not hurt. I'm not going to cry about it, and I'll just think about you eating pizza tomorrow night. Well, I'm clearly not. Where'd you get it from?
Illuminati's.
Yes.
2-day delivery, man. 2 days.
So 2 days, and it's frozen, right? It comes
and
frozen?
it's from fucking Chicago.
Well, it's not like it's from Abu Dhabi. It's
but
Chicago.
Still.
But at 9 o'clock, like, how do you know it's 9 o'clock? That's
UPS tracking.
Yeah, they're not going to be right. Sorry, spoiler. It's going to be like 10. Bill, for me, this week, I finally finished The Sopranos. I binged The Sopranos. Completely blown away. What an amazing show. Oh, what are you drinking? Sorry, I know it's a visual part.
Dirty Shirley. Dirty Shirley. A Dirty Shirley? Great.
Bill's drunk. It's going to be a good podcast.
Second sip.
So I finally finished it. I think I'm going to put some content for podcast subscribers only over the next few days. Me and my wife watched the whole thing. We both have kind of differing views. Maybe also a future collaboration with some other people. Maybe do like a roundtable about Sopranos, because it's a very interesting show. It's known as one of the greatest shows in American TV history.
I heard it was good.
It's very good. Don't get me wrong. It's very good, but it's so different if you've watched television, let's say, I don't know, over the last 20 years, because it's just like the way they did things was just so out of whack to the way television is done today. So like I said, some more content coming on that. Also later in this week, we'll drop some content. There is a WWE pay-per-view Extreme Rules horror show at Extreme Rules. So it's a horror movie, kind of, sort of.
In mid-July.
Yes, I'll do a preview of that before the event. Me and you will be live on that come Sunday night. And then next week, we have a really cool topic, which we'll tell you about at the end of the day. But we're here today. We're live now. And, Bill, we've done a lot of podcasts together. We've been doing this for about 2 years now, just about 2.
Mm-hmm.
Changed the name from Rossi on Wrestling to Pop Culture Pile Driver about 6 weeks ago, give or take, maybe a little more. But we have never, ever had guests on the show or collaborated with anybody else.
And now we have 2.
We do?
2 guests.
2 guests. All right, so let's welcome in first from the Mac and Goo podcast. He's the former, not the latter. He is the MAC in the hashtag Dork Gooniverse.
Yeah.
I'm still working on that. It's Mac. Mac, how you doing, bud?
Flawless introduction. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'm doing well. I'm happy to be here. I feel like I might be punching out of my weight class here. So I know you worked at a music radio station. The other guest plays music. I don't know where Billy D falls in it, but
I think me and you have similar music tastes from what I can tell. So I'm a little worried about your drafting. Plus, Mac, you've had better drafts than most of the people. I mean, you typically draft against Goose. That's not saying much, but I thought you crushed the comedian draft.
Thank you. I'm good at drafting. It's kind of my thing.
Yeah, so we'll get into how the rules and regulations, but first we will bring in. I'm never ever going to attempt to do the Keith type of introduction for this man, but I will say
you didn't practice.
I actually did, and the worst part is I blew it on the Mac introduction. But I will say it's all hail the king of ginger ale, Davey Eyeballs. He is at Arvon D on the old Twitter and Twitch. It is Davey. Davey, how's it going?
So I'm great. I'm so excited for this. So excited.
Well, somebody has to be,
and he just can't hide it.
Yeah. Oh. I can't tell you. You pitched this to me, and I was like, I cannot wait. I have like notes, copious notes. I've taken copious notes. I'm ready to rock, man. Ready to rock.
I feel like you over-prepared, but that's okay. So just to let everybody know, so we are creating the greatest song ever. What that means is between all four of us, it is going to be a draft style, but not a draft where if I take somebody and Mac takes the same exact somebody, that is okay. So we're going to be drafting 5 individuals. It's okay, Davey, don't worry.
All right.
5 individuals in the music industry. One must be a producer. It could be musicians. It could be band members. You could pick a bassist, a drummer. If you want to make like an all-star band, you go for it. But we're basically going to come up with the concept of the greatest song ever, and we're going to do it in a draft-style snake format. We're going to start with Mac. I think 2. Billy, you 2?
No, Davey is 2.
2.
Mm-hmm. I am 3. You are 4.
And then 4. Okay. And then what we'll do towards the end, this was the part that had me with the most difficult part. Well, kind of, if you want to, you guys, this was a creative control or creative freedom with this one. You can kind of pitch what your song would be and why it's, quote, the greatest song. And again, it's 2020. We're living in it. I think we all know by this point. And there's no dead artist we can pick. Nobody dead. It's all living, breathing musicians, artists, producers, songwriters, whatever you want. So, Bill, anything else you want to touch upon for this?
No, you said you just have to have one producer and then whatever else you want, pitch it at the end. And we couldn't remember the best song in the world. This will be a tribute to it, though.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. And don't forget, you also it is eligible for you to take all 4 founding members of Nickelback, just to let everyone know.
I almost wore my Blue Jays hat in honor of Nickelback.
You should have. Go.
I don't. Let's just get I'll get this out in the open right now.
Please.
Right? I don't understand the hate that Nickelback gets.
I love Nickelback.
Neither do I.
I don't get it. They're not bad. Like they're
great karaoke songs.
No,
right,
it's Chad Kroeger. It's Chad Kroeger is what it is because he's got that Scott Stapp.
Yeah. I also think it's like, there's something going on. It's not great. It's butt rock, but like they're not bad. There's worse bands out there
for sure.
Without a doubt. And I think it's also, it comes down to like, we need to hate something. And they were just that chosen one at that time. Like, I mean, Silver Side Up, like that first album, people love that. That's like critically acclaimed. Like from How You Remind Me, like people love that album. Then all of a sudden, it like 2 albums later, they kind of fit that narrative of just
if that song comes on in the car, This Is How You Remind Me, and you don't belt it out, you're an asshole. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think they were the first band that the internet like got together to hate.
Yes.
And so it was like overboard with like, you guys remember does Nickelback suck.com and you got there and the homepage just said yes.
Yeah, Billy and I were talking about this recently. Who was the band we said, like, who's that band now? Like, who's like, or artist? Didn't we say there's somebody now that like everybody hates and there's really no reason?
Imagine Dragons.
Thank you. That's what it was.
They're the new Nickelback is what
fatigue for me. Fatigue very quickly with Imagine Dragons.
Yeah.
Agreed. I've seen them live a couple of times, and they put on awesome shows. So I always kind of give a little pass as long as the show's entertaining. Obviously Coldplay got that for a little while.
Mumford a little bit too.
Mumford a little bit.
Yeah. How dare they plug in instruments? Now people are like, nah, not the same. All right. So Mac, you are in that one spot. This is a lot of pressure on a person. Again, not a real draft, but you still have to kind of set the tone for this entire podcast stream, whatever the hell we do in 2020.
Yeah.
So take it away. Who are you taking here?
Yeah. So I don't want to start off on a wrong foot here. And I actually like the 5 I'm going to end up building here. But I thought to myself, not only does the artist need to be living, they sort of need to be thriving and near their prime, still creating, not past themselves. So I wanted to start with a producer and get someone in there to kind of oversee everything. And I think Rick Rubin's a really obvious choice, but he's a little bit past where I want. Founded Def Jam, guy's incredible. But I'm going to go with Mark Ronson because Mark Ronson
thank God, yes,
has had his hand in just about every single hit of the last decade. He's still super young. He's still creating, and he's worked with a lot of the artists that I have considered taking for this greatest song ever. And he's not only just a producer, he mixes too. He's just a musical genius. You know, some of the music he's made might not be for some people, but if you're building something like this, he's just a genius.
Mark Ronson. Right. Let's go.
So on to that end, I was really pissed for a second. You heard me shout an expletive. Sorry. Right? Because I thought you were going to take my guy, and I am actually going to take my producer too, and I am going to take Rick Rubin. And I will tell you why. Founded Def Jam, but has worked with everybody from Wu-Tang Clan and the Beastie Boys, LL Cool J in the 80s, to working with Johnny Cash, Metallica, Slayer. This guy has worked with everybody.
Yeah.
This guy, it doesn't matter. Like the Avett Brothers, Audio Slave, Limp Bizkit, Neil Diamond, System of a Down. Like this guy has worked and is a guaranteed absolute, no matter what the song is, absolute hit maker. Like it's no question.
He crosses genre, and especially in the 2000s, and like people don't even recognize. Like obviously 90s was incredible, some of the artists you mentioned, but in the 2000s, Rick Rubin literally had his hand in it was at one point everything. 15 out of the top 20 songs was off an album that he had partial, if not full, producing credit on, which is an incredible run.
Yeah, and you look at, like I said, I mean, the stuff that Johnny Cash did late in his life, that was all Rick Rubin.
Mm-hmm. Rubin introduced him to Hurt. That's the only reason why Johnny Cash knew that song.
But you look at, in the 2000s, he's working with Neil Diamond. He's Coheed and Cambria, Good Apollo, and Burning Star 4, which is one of my favorite albums from that era. I'm a big Coheed fan, so Rick Rubin's my guy.
I like how you bring up Neil Diamond in the 2000s as like a credit.
But the fact that like he's worked with in the same year. In the same year, he's working with Limp Bizkit, System of a Down, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Dixie Chicks, Johnny Cash, Slayer, and Neil Diamond. Like, the guy does everything.
He's versatile, at least. Yeah. So I was getting really, really nervous, sweating bullets on both of you guys as you picked producers. I'm not going to go with the pick that I think most people think here. I'm a big pop guy. I'm going to go with Max Martin, who is like the pop guy and the pop guy. He's done literally everything. Britney Spears, Baby One More Time, Katy Perry, Roar, Taylor Swift, Shake It Off, Tayo Cruz, basically a real big pop guy, but he's done other stuff as well. A lot of songs with, like female vocalists, which might play a big role in my song. So he's a huge hit maker. He's always going to take everybody's talents and kind of mix them together well. And he's a great songwriter. Like a lot of the top hits, I Want It That Way was one of his songs. So I'm picking him just because I think he's going to fit all of the styles I'm going to pick into one.
Another random guy who, like, you look at his, I guess, credits, and like you said, he goes from one of the biggest boy bands, like some of those offbeat, like one-hit wonders of the early 2000s. A really interesting pick. Not a name that people, not a household name, Bill, not a household name, but a name that people know.
No, but he's sort of the guy that makes those songs that get stuck in your head for hours. Mm-hmm. Just won't leave your head.
And that was kind of my plan in picking this because I have a lot of interesting styles I plan on combining, and I think he can do it.
Can't disagree. All right, so I'll take my producer, and I'll just be honest. Mac took him. Mark Ronson was also mine. I think he's genius personally. From everyone knows the real popular stuff with Amy Winehouse or Bruno Mars. Uptown Funk did that whole album, but he's worked like Miley Cyrus, Lily Allen. The credits go on. I don't have to go on about it because Mac took the same guy, and I'm not ashamed about it because we've talking about some of the best producers, period. So I'll go with the next one. For me, you're going to see kind of where I'm kind of stacking things up, and this one's a little random, but I'm going to try to create what I believe will be the greatest song ever if it was released like tomorrow. So for just writing credit, this guy obviously can sing, could be a big part, but there's a reason why I'm adding him to the repertoire. I'm going to start off as a writer only, Paul McCartney. Adding Paul McCartney in because a lot of people, obviously the Beatles, the highest selling artist of all time. Last decade, just in case anyone's wondering, they ranked number 10 in the last decade. So people still buying their music, still consuming them. Nostalgia, not that it's really nostalgia, it's just the greatest band of all time. People always will be there. If he's living, he's a legend. He's got so many things. I don't want him singing on this song. It's kind of like what they did with that Kanye West Rihanna thing. They had him as like a singer in there, but
5 seconds.
Yeah. He didn't sing. He just played guitar. And it wasn't even good guitar. It's literally like 2 chords. But nonetheless, that made the song put more eyes on it, an older crowd. So that's going to tie in a little bit with where I'm going to go. So Paul McCartney, Mark Ronson on my little turn. So we go back to you, Bill.
Okay, I'm going to take Ariana Grande because I need people to tune into the song. The rest of my picks are going to be a little off the board, but she's going to be the one who kind of hits the chorus for me, starts it off strong with maybe like a little vocalization there. There were a couple other female ones I was considering in this spot with a really powerful voice. But if I'm making one of the best songs ever, you kind of need people to like tune into it, turn on the radio just for her.
Are you making, what was that song she did with Jessie J and Nicki Minaj a few years ago? I feel like that's what you're
Bang
making.
Bang.
Yes, that song's a jam.
That song is a jam, and I was considering Jessie J if somebody took Ariana Grande before
I like
me.
Jessie J as well, also on my list.
She is incredible. She was going to be my sleeper if somebody took a female.
Sleeper. It's only the second round. You still got 5 more. You can see she's still be out there. All right, so remind us again of your 2 picks.
So I have Max Martin and Ariana Grande.
All right, got it.
Am I up?
Davey's up.
I am going to go with another genre-spanning, guaranteed hitmaker.
Ooh.
So I am taking right now. So I have Rick Rubin, and on top of that, I'm adding Post Malone.
All right.
Oh, Posty.
So talk about like your like pop, but like rap. So I'm gonna like add a little bit of like that rock rap flavor to it, and I got more where that's coming from. But just right now, I mean, this one of the big BSDs in the industry right now. Anything this guy makes is a hit. Anything this guy makes, people are going to listen to. He can play guitar. He can sing rock. He can rap. He can do R&B. He can slow it down a little bit. I'm a huge fan of Post Malone. So I'm taking him number 2 pick. So right now I got Rick Rubin and I got Post Malone.
It's a
guaranteed hit right there.
It's a strong start. Now I will say this about Post Malone. I was not like when everyone was first like the underground movement of him.
Yeah.
I was like, really? What was that party like a rock star? I'm like, what is this? Is kind of like meh. Then obviously he broke through. The last 3 years for that, or 4 years for that guy has been insane. Obviously Spider-Man, which I think we all Into the Spider-Verse with
Sunflower.
Which is like the most random song to be a superhero movie soundtrack song, but skyrocketed that thing to number 1. Very versatile artist, like you said. It's a good start. I'm not a big Post Malone fan personally, but I think if we're going with greatest song ever.
If you've seen the video of him, he did a live stream from quarantine where he just played Nirvana songs.
I did watch this actually.
It was pretty fucking good.
It
was pretty good.
Because like his Better Now song to the other stuff he does, like Better Now to me is one of those perfect songs that came out just at the right time. Exactly. And that it's like every note you kind of need to and shows how versatile he can be. I love that song and I love that pick.
It's a go to sleep song for me. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't move me. It's a good put it on, take a nap.
I'm not the biggest Post Malone fan. I'm either hit or miss with his songs. I do love some of his songs. But what he fell victim to is what my lady fell victim to. Is there a lot of showmanship to start? And people didn't really realize how talented he was, like Lady Gaga.
I knew he was going to
Gaga.
I'm taking Lady Gaga, my leading lady. To me, she is at the top of the game right now. And Ariana Grande might have like the most perfect voice of anyone in the industry. I think Gaga, for the type of song I want to build, is going to have that perfect inflection or imperfections of her voice that show the emotion a little bit more. And I think that's crucial for what I'll need. And on top of it, she's an incredible songwriter. She plays a mean piano. You're getting a little bit of everything with her. And like I alluded to with Post Malone, like people just thought she was all pop and showmanship to start. And then when you realize how fucking talented she was, you're like, oh my God, she's an incredible, incredible artist.
She's one of my favorite. Love
the album she did with Tony Bennett. Now, I'm not sure like everyone listening heard a lot of that, but it is just a showcase of her talent. Like what an all-time classic voice. Like you said, she wrote a lot of that with Tony, and I forget who else wrote on that, but it's just an incredible artist. Obviously, you can go to that Super Bowl halftime show. A lot of people crap on a lot of Super Bowl halftime shows. I thought she was amazing. I think she did. I've over the last few years, I think that's by far like leaps and bounds.
And she's got an extensive history working with Mark Ronson, and they've already made smash hits. So I think that's going to help me a little bit too.
Yeah, and then she also had sex with Bradley Cooper. So that's
I mean, of course, that's at least 2 points right there.
I would say. All right, so you get one more pick here as we're on the snake round. Right back to you, Mac.
And so I think I kind of want to go in. For me, I looked at this as like greatest song of all time, aka a song that people will remember forever. And to me, like ballads get remembered forever. Love songs get remembered forever. So I'm going to take a guy here that's known for love songs, writing love songs, incredible guitarist. I'm going to take John Mayer. John Mayer has made a career off poppy love songs, but then he transitioned into something altogether different. He's an incredible blues guitarist. He's just an incredible guitarist in general. When you actually dig into his catalog, you could say he's one of the greatest guitarists of all time. Eric Clapton has said as much. I also think what's crucial here is he's kind of shown a willingness to take a bit of a back seat. He's touring with Dead & Company, and he's just really mostly playing guitar for them. And so when you get in a room with this many talented people, you might need someone to not, put their foot to the gas at all times. So give me Mayer for not only writing, guitar skills, and vocals.
So I dig this. So you got, just to recap, Mark Ronson, Lady Gaga, John Mayer.
John Mayer, yep.
It's a strong start. And I agree with what you said about John Mayer, especially look at his last 10 years of his career. There's no big hits on the radio. It's a lot, like you said, Dead & Company. He had a couple of albums that are a little bit more quiet, like your AAA radio stations, not your top 40s are playing them. So it's a good move. It's a very talented man right there, and a funny bastard just to boot.
Very self-aware these days.
Oh, yeah, he learned.
So speaking of funny, talented bastards, you ready for my next pick?
You can't take me.
I can't take you? Oh, damn it. All right.
I know.
I am going to take a multi-generational talent, someone who can play every instrument you throw at him, is a phenomenal songwriter, and one of the last true remaining rock stars on the planet. I'm taking Dave Grohl with my number 3 pick.
Great.
So if I were to have lunch with anybody in the music industry right now, I think I would have lunch with Dave. Like, we're not going to a restaurant. We're just sitting in his studio. Have you guys ever seen the movie Sound City? Like, basically, it's an incredible movie. A guy who's just a fan of music. Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't matter. It just like, he tells these amazing stories about playing with Prince and like, obviously about playing with Nirvana and like all these incredible musicians. If you guys watched, what was it, Sonic Highways, the thing on HBO where they were doing a song in every city.
Yeah. So,
and they can play. That band and Dave Grohl can play any style of music, but I think you see the direction I'm kind of going with right now. But, like having lunch with Dave Grohl is just us crushing like Bud Lights and just like eating cheeseburgers and like writing the fucking cool song. So right now I have Rick Rubin producing with Dave Grohl and Post Malone. So you kind of see where I'm steering the ship right now. But I got a couple of wrinkles if you guys will permit me in the later rounds.
You do what you need to do. Now, Davey, if you were to have lunch with Dave Grohl, who would you go to breakfast with?
My next pick. Okay. Wink, wink. Yeah.
Tease ahead.
Wink,
I can't wait for dinner. Billy.
All right. So Billy, the last 2 picks, I like both of them, but I think they're a little too clean for my taste. Very technically proficient, but I like the more dirty guys. I'm not going to take one of my all-time favorite musicians here because this is the direction I'm going to go now with my whole song. I'm going to take Anderson .Paak right now because I believe
awesome.
The first part of my rhythm section here, and I'm going to build like a funky kind of hip hoppy song. I think I have the pieces coming up to do it, and Ariana Grande is going to fill in with that, just incredible chorus. And she's already worked with Max Martin. So Anderson .Paak, I think, has an incredible sound. If you saw him on Tiny Desk, an incredible live performer. He's a drummer, a great rapper, really soulful. So I think he's going to help out like my whole song by being the backbone of it.
I mean, you talk creativity. That's all that guy is. Mm-hmm. He just flows creativeness, and he's just cool. He brings an essence.
It's like cool. Someone wrote this thing about Prince, and Prince would have been my number 1 pick if had we done like a living or alive. And they talked about him just being like an open channel, like just like the guy just like was just like the embodiment of creativity. And I think Pac, well, he's not Prince. He has a little bit of that, with that little bit of like soulful like creativity, and he's just the guy's just a fucking spirit. Have you ever like seen interviews with him or like even like how he dresses? Just look at him, like the guy's just
soulful
like
swag,
open channel, man. Like, unbelievable.
I think it's a great pick. It's one of those ones, again, kind of off the radar to some people. I thought you were going like Little Uzi Vert. I was just expecting that coming out of your mouth. That's the best artist name right now, period.
The Baby.
The Baby's good too. Don't know any of that music, but for me, okay, so I got 2 picks here. So for me, it's like almost like, what do I want to reveal? So I have Mark Ronson as my producer, Paul McCartney just as a writer to get some cred. I think I'll go my female vocalist. It's going to be a lead for me, male and female. For me, I'm going with, you guys talked a lot about the best female voice, and I don't know how we just pretended like this artist doesn't exist. She's dropped the old like 100 lbs. She's quarantining like you wouldn't believe.
2 C's.
I am a little worried. Yeah, 2 C's for sure. I'm a little worried about the voice when you lose that much weight. I know she's had some history with some vocal issues. She's had vocal surgeries, working on a new album. I'm going with the best female artist since 2000, Adele. Adele will be my top female artist. Her catalog speaks for itself. It's 3 albums, and it's just all great. There's not a flaw to her. Like I said, I really am. I'm not joking. Like, I want to hear her sing now. I think she lost like literally 110 pounds or something over the last several years. So it's scary, almost like good. But for me, working with someone like Paul McCartney, you'll see where I'm going with songwriting. Adele is known as, like, people talk about Taylor Swift a lot, period. But also she like she doesn't write all of her music on her own, and I don't find her music to be overly compelling. I think it's produced well, but I think Adele is the total package when it comes to a female artist. I had Lady Gaga as my number 2 when I was thinking of female, and then her, or HER, however you want to go with it. She was on my list for female vocalist. Kind of has that cool factor as well, but Adele by far will take
the only thing, and I agree, she's probably, if you had to just rate straight voices, her and Ariana are the top 2 for me. The only thing is, I feel like Adele, you have to build an Adele song. Like, I already know what your song sounds like, you know? That's not a bad thing, but I already know what it sounds like.
Oh, could be a hit. I mean, that's a hit type of song.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, we'll get to what that may actually sound like, and probably Max probably more right than wrong. I do want to say I was really fighting with Dave Grohl, because Dave Grohl to me is also, I do dinner with him. I'm not cheap like that with lunch. I'm not looking for like a $9.99 special before 4, but I would say like he's on my list of like guys I want to like meet, and I'm really frustrated I didn't get to meet him one time. It's a story for another time, but because I had an opportunity. But I will say I'm not going to go with my male vocalist. I'm going to go with what I call my cool factor for this song. The rapper, more soulful-ish rapper right now. I was trying to find somebody who's kind of owning 2020, and I think it's been a weird year for music, and like who do you really look at as like a great artist today? And I'm talking like really pop, like having number 1 songs, number 1 records. So I'm going to go with The Weeknd with my pick here.
All right.
Good discography. Another guy that's been around for a lot longer than probably a lot of people recognize. But I just think he's hot right now. I need somebody that people will like jump off the page and be like, oh yeah, I want to hear what he's doing next. I think his new album's fantastic. He has a great desperation to his voice, which I'm a big fan of. So I will take The Weeknd. So right now, my greatest song ever is Mark Ronson's producer, Paul McCartney's a writer, Adele as a female vocalist songwriter as well, and The Weeknd as kind of like a, not really rapper, but like kind of like a more soulful voice as well. He does write his own music as well. So we're packing up the house with songwriters.
And Max Martin did a lot of his first album, including I Can't Feel My Face When I'm With You. So that tells you how good my draft already is. But I'm going to go with my next guy right here. This is probably going to be totally off script, but it's the other part of my rhythm.
Where's the script? Hold on.
I don't know how many...
I got it right here.
Yeah. So I have copious notes as well. I don't know if you guys know Wolfpack.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go with Joe Dart.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
He's
interesting.
An incredible bassist.
So you're building a band. You're not just building like a song.
I kind of went at it like Billy did too. Yeah.
So I'm building the rhythm section, and I'm having Max Martin fill in the rest of it in the production house. So he will be the backbone. He's going to create a real funky bass line to go along with Anderson .Paak's drum line, and it's going to be a total kind of funky hip hop song. He's really great. I'll post a video of one of his solos after this, but the guy absolutely shreds. There's a couple other really cool kind of bassists I could have picked for this, but I went with him just because I really like his sound, and he just absolutely shreds on the bass.
Yeah, interesting. Now, Bill, let me just ask, like, what brought this on, like this pick? Like, to me, I'm blown away by it. Like, I'm like, okay, of all the guys, is it like just because of the current day situation, like with music, or were you looking at to pick a guy like him?
So I've just been listening to a lot of them lately.
As you should, because Wolfpack is like an incredibly like technically proficient band. Who, like, if you're a fan of music, like, you need to be listening to Wolfpack. Like, you have.
I have no idea who they are.
You need to listen to them.
Oh my! You would love them.
You would love them.
Like anything that's a little bit of funk, but they're just so creative. They wrote a song about their code to their room, and I was just like, that's the most creative thing I've ever heard. It's 1612, and that's literally just the code that it was to enter the room, and they made a whole song about it, and it's fucking awesome. Also, all of their videos are usually just like one shot with like a weird little edits in them that I absolutely love. So I just think that creativity will filter in. And when you see this guy play the bass, he just blows you away.
And just like music school kids who just like Mac, like I'm telling you, just like jazz fusion funk band that just fucking rips. Like these guys just are unbelievable. Check them out.
I'm a music nerd, Mac, and I'll be honest. Like this is the type of band that like when people are talking about, you're like, I just keep walking. Like these guys are like complete nerds. Like just keep going.
So you guys asked me. I tipped my hand a little bit. You guys asked me who I would have breakfast with, which means there was a night that was spent. So my female vocalist, one of the top pop artists right now, an amazing voice. I'm gonna go with Halsey.
Halsey's great.
Halsey, and she like an incredible talent, can sing multiple genre. If you guys saw Birds of Prey, the best scene in that movie is the jailbreak scene, I think, with the colored grenades and all that stuff. That song, it's like a hard rock song that's like That's Halsey.
Yeah.
Like not a lot of people know, but like, so she can sing rock, she can sing R&B, she can, and an absolute snipe. Please follow her on Instagram.
Oh my God.
Experiment on Me is the name of the song.
Yes. And it is, the guitar hook in that is incredible. And she's like, just goes balls to the wall with the vocals. So, and again, just a top shelf talent in the looks department too. I don't want to be crass here.
I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but usually when I go to like a Halsey post, you have already liked it.
I already liked it. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm so quick on the trigger with that.
She kind of looks like the mean girl from Full House, the friend, the next door neighbor.
Gina.
Yeah.
Or like Gia? Is it Gia?
Gia.
The one that was smoking in the bathroom.
Yeah. Another prepubescent rocket.
I have big issues with Halsey, nothing to do with her music. When I was once working at a music radio station, she was playing a show that we presented at the old House of Blues in Boston. By the way,
love that venue.
Best House of Blues across the country. I've only been to 3, but I've heard from some reliable sources. But anyway,
easily top 3 though.
Definitely. She refused to perform for us and our listeners, so she just did an interview.
Oh wow!
I held it against her. It's never the artist. I always know it's always the reps and like the local like Northeastern rep who doesn't want to like ask them to do any more than they need to, which F them. But I've never liked her since. So it's total personal. So Davey, even if right now you're with Dave Grohl, you're voting. Like I would vote for you over me right now, but now you're out. I'm back on my own team.
All right. So right now, to recap, I have Rick Rubin, Dave Grohl, Post Malone, and Halsey.
Ooh,
that's a squad.
That's
pretty
a squad
strong.
and a half.
Yeah.
All right, Mac, wrapping up our 4th round here. We're cruising here.
So I got back-to-back picks here, and I know Davey already took him, but I had him in here penciled in as my drummer. I'm going to take Dave Grohl because for me, for my ballad, I want the drummer to be a little subdued. I don't need him making a ton of noise back there. And also Dave Grohl brings in, all of those talents that Davey spoke about. And so I think that's a guy whose career has spanned almost 30 years now and has made – I know Rossi's not the biggest Foo Fighters fan, but
no.
Foo is one of my favorite bands.
I'm in. I'm all in on Foo. Just so
and Foo has run the gauntlet from pop rock and back, and they can do a little bit of everything. So I think if you're building a greatest song of all time and Dave Grohl's still alive, he's easily in the consideration for that. So give me Dave Grohl, and I'll close out my draft here with my bassist, and I'm gonna go a little off the board like Ross like Billy D did here because I am trying to build a band. I got the guitarist. I got the drummer. I got the singer, pianos. I need a bassist player now. I'm going to go with Thundercat.
Oh,
if you guys know
that was going to
Thundercat.
be my guy.
Thundercat is so fucking good. So good. So I have only known about Thundercat for like 2 years now. So I want Thundercat in here because he's still on the up and up. He started out with Snoop Dogg's band. He's had a little bit of a successful solo career, but he gained notoriety because he played all the bass tracks on To Pimp a Butterfly, which won all the Grammys. I was first exposed to him from the Mac Miller NPR Tiny Desk, where he was ripping it up. He was so good. He's got this incredible talent of infusing music with that jazz and that funk and still making it sound hip hop-ish. So give me Thundercat. He's incredible. And if you haven't heard of him, check out, he's got a video on YouTube with Pitchfork where he talks about his favorite bass lines and how he likes to play the bass and what it means to him. He's just incredible.
And there's a song that he does he mentions by The System, the song In My System. That song is fire. And it's like from like 1982. But like and that Pitchfork video again, music nerd. Sorry, Rossi.
I'm with you. I'm just letting you know. Like I know how these conversations go, and usually like if you're like, hey, I like whatever's popular right now. Like, have you heard Thundercat? And you're like, I gotta go.
Right.
No,
Thundercat, absolutely.
But I would say that's a pretty strong ending there. So especially taking Dave Grohl, who's known as a frontman, kind of lead guitarist, but mostly just as like one of the best rock frontmen that's still alive. I always will put like Cornell and Scott Weiland is the best in my book, but seeing you put Grohl behind the kit back there, I think that's going to bring, like you say, bring the eyes, bring the ears, because people are going to be intrigued. Kind of like what I was going with McCartney. Like,
right.
I don't want him like playing a big role, but
he can do a little bit of a Don Henley. He could chime in back there in the vocals.
Oh yeah,
But I think Mayer's a better vocalist and Gaga is the leader, so Grohl's going to help out kind of wherever. He's a little utility player here in our 5-piece.
Yeah, and it's a good call, too, because he's an egomaniac in one sense, but he also could definitely play the role of like, all right, this is Gaga's lead. Here's how we're going to get you there. And John, just stay out of my way and let me get any of the 40-year-old plus, poon that's still left after you're done.
So I'm bringing the heat with my with this band right now. It's a little bit more of like a rock. I don't want to say rap rock because I don't want to get into like late 90s stuff, but there has some hip hop, some rock with some hip hop.
Come on,
influence.
Fred Durst. Come on,
it's not Fred Durst. It's not Fred Durst, but this pick might be as equally as polarizing.
Ooh.
But I have to bring it down a little bit. I have 2 male vocalists, 1 female vocalist, so I'm going to add another one. And this young lady, I swear, I truly believe in my heart of hearts that this girl is a generational talent.
Ooh, I already know who it is.
You already know who it is? The youngster on the team, I'm taking Billie Eilish.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So,
wow.
Like a guarantee again, another
the teams are loving
hitmaker.
Davey's squad. Tell you what.
Yeah, they definitely are.
But like I got Ruben and I got Grohl.
Yeah.
And then I got the scummy kind of Post Malone guy, and then I got the two girls who can sing. I would listen to either of these women sing the phone book. They're incredible. I'm a huge Billie Eilish fan. Huge fan of what she does. And I almost took her brother, Phineas, as the producer.
The songwriter and producer, yeah.
Yeah, so that's my team rounded out: Rick Rubin, Dave Grohl, Halsey, Post Malone, and Billie Eilish. Bam.
Once you said that, I knew that because you'd mentioned her before in a couple of dorks, and she is incredible. And I looked her up. I had only heard like her very popular stuff, and then I listened to her. Amazing. By the way, Mac,
amazing.
Thundercat was going to be the bassist I was going to take because I think he's amazing. But
he's
Joe
so
Dart,
good.
he's and
he brings that swagger that my group needed.
The 6-string hollow body bass is like the most extra instrument I've ever seen in my life.
It's the most unnecessary as well.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like you don't need that.
I was introduced to him the same way you were from that Mac Miller Tiny Desk, and it was unreal.
So good.
So I'll finish off my squad here with my favorite lyrical rapper of all time. No, it's not Eminem. It is Andre 3000.
Yeah.
To give me that funk
Love it.
I think it's that Atlanta sound that I need. You mix it in there with Pac, Joe Dart, and have that chorus with Ariana. I think that's a pretty solid team. I got Max Martin, Ariana Grande, Anderson .Paak, Joe Dart, and Andre 3000 for my favorite kind of genre of music is that funk that, Pac brings that,
It's like a jazz fusion. You got like
a jazz fusion
going. Yeah.
So
add any genre and then add fusion, and we get it. It's like pop fusion,
Well, fusion itself is like jazz and other things.
Yes,
I knew I could leave him to the very, very end because I didn't think he'd be on anybody's radar. So kind of a steal, but obviously, there's thousands of people to pick from.
There is. So we narrowed it down and somehow copied each other. But I will say, so to wrap this all up, my final pick to wrap up my squad that so far is Mark Ronson as a producer, Paul McCartney as a writer, Adele as my lead female vocalist, also songwriter, The Weeknd as my kind of soul-ish rapper, also songwriting. Here's a pick that you guys probably wouldn't think jumps off the board, kind of going in Davies' court. I was looking at Billie Eilish a lot because I'm looking for who's young, who's going to grab like that, like 15, like who was I 20 years ago listening to? Like probably Billie Eilish if it was today. And I'm trying to find out who's that person that like I've seen live that when I go to there, like it's just tons of young rabid fans that would follow them. Their Twitter follows are crazy. Their YouTube videos go through the roof. Was fighting myself on going with something not only that I liked, but something I believed in. And this is one you guys might not be familiar with by name. You're going to know the band Tyler Joseph, who is the lead singer of 21 Pilots. So 21 Pilots has this really incredible following with the youth, like insane. Like I thought when they first came out, they were going to be more of like a, your alternative kind of like one hit wonder-ish feel.
Flowbots.
Yeah. Honestly, that's what I thought. Yeah. I thought they would also not use their handlebars, but they have taken this world by storm. They have sold out massive arenas from Madison Square Garden. You look at their stuff in other countries, they have the feel for the young generation, and they kind of write. Tyler Joseph is also the lead singer, songwriter, writes to these kids. He's kind of like a leader of this kind of like, I guess the current goth kids, even though I don't know if goth is really the right term, but I feel like Billie Eilish. Yeah, I don't know. It's like Billie Eilish in 21 Pilots are in the same genre of time where it's like not the popular jock kids. It's actually the popular like emo kids now, which is like such a more popular thing. Davey, you would know more about this in a classroom than most, but I feel like these are the artists that a lot of these kids are gravitating towards. I think Tyler Joseph's going to bring a lot of credit from that field. So for me to wrap up, I got Mark Ronson as my producer, who's going to make everything good. Paul McCartney, who is a writer, who's going to help with some of the best writers. I think like The Weeknd, I think is one of the best writers that is in that rap fusion field right now. I think Tyler Joseph with that kind of like indie rock alternative scene is one of the best writers. Adele kind of speaks for herself with her writing. So kind of making like a massive writer. So this song can't miss in my book from at least a writing and producing standpoint.
Can I do 2 honorable mentions?
Sure.
I got a few honorable mentions. I'd like to talk about it.
I'm sorry, guys. We got to wrap this up. Our podcasts are usually 2 hours long, but today it's going to be 30. No, yeah, what do you got?
I don't know if I can lump these 2 together, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention Daft Punk as a producer. And Pharrell. So I'm a big Pharrell fan. And obviously, what about Springsteen and Dylan? No. Before you go, like, no.
That's what I was kicking around. I'm not going to pretend. Yeah. I was I was trying to bring somebody back from the past that I could like a kid who's 15 to 18, their parent could listen. So I went with McCartney over Springsteen because I think Paul McCartney's more beloved overall. I'm a huge Springsteen guy, but the
big thing is Paul McCartney can actually sing. So that goes.
Well, let's we don't have to do this right now. We can have that for another. We save that for the next one. But yes, Paul McCartney does have the voice of a damn angel.
I also think that you can't go wrong with Kanye as a producer. That man just thinks in music.
You can either not go wrong or you could go completely wrong. depending on who you have.
If he's the sole proprietor, you're in trouble. But if you've got other input, you're probably good. Calvin Harris was another one that has had tons and tons of hits over the last 10, 15 years.
Still alive.
I also think singer-songwriters, I really, really liked Jessie J, as Billy mentioned. I think Miley would have been a good pick. Sia would have been a good pick.
Oh, Sia's
Alicia Keys was another one that tickles the ivories that I
No
really,
one took
really
Beyonce.
Liked. Yeah, yep.
I think too polarizing at this point. I don't know if she's pushing the old needle up all the time. My opinion. The one thing I would say for me from another honorable mention, I know it's kind of a little random when I was looking at different female vocalists as well, because it's always weird. I feel like when you're trying to think of a power song, you're like, all right, we got to shoe in a female here.
Oh, 100%. Like you think about Fleetwood Mac, Fleetwood Mac's my favorite band of all time, and it works so well because you had McVie and you had Stevie Nicks, but then you had Buckingham as well, sharing the load. That's what I tried to do with mine.
Do you guys know the Alabama Shakes?
Yes. Oh my God.
I was going to take Brittany Howard as my female vocalist.
She's incredible.
She's amazing, but I didn't think she had the star power I needed. And I was picking kind of off the page people otherwise. So she was the one I went with. I had Alicia Keys written down. I think Will.i.am is actually a really good producer for like my kind of song. He is. Like if I'm going for
your kind of song,
that funky type of song.
A shitty song, I gotcha.
Yeah. But if I couldn't get my guy, I was going to go with Timbaland. As that, I wanted I wanted those baby noises in the background.
I wanted someone in the chat. Someone said JT wasn't Justin Timberlake. He's on my list.
Yeah, he's on my list there. I think if you're talking just sheer talent, getting that guy in the room, that would have worked out really well.
I'll be honest. I feel like he's another guy whose stock kind of dropped after that, whatever that Wilderness album was a few years ago.
I really liked it, but it wasn't like a radio album. You know, there was no good radio music from that album.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know. I dug into it a little bit and I was just kind of thrown off. I thought it was just bizarre, total change of pace.
It was him tinkering. And so that kind of goes into your Beyonce point. That's kind of what she's been doing.
Yeah.
She's been doing her own thing. And I haven't really enjoyed it. It's not bad. It's just not for me.
Yeah, just real quick with some of the other female, like Florence Welch from Florence and the Machine was another one on my short list. Grace Potter, if you guys are familiar with Grace Potter, super. Whoa, I hope that was a real fart. Hope that was a real fart down there on the left. But I find her to be a very strong vocalist as well. And then my rapper, like Eminem not being on this as well. That was really hard between The Weeknd, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar for me. I went with The Weeknd just for the vibe of my song. I think Eminem's like one of those guys. If he's on the track, let's just use like Adele and Tyler Joseph from 21 Pilots, like he's overpowering them. His popularity is going to, I think, kind of smother theirs. Yeah. And Kendrick Lamar was kind of one I didn't know how like hip hop rap I was going to go with it. So, but I think those two.
Kendrick Lamar was that would have been a great pick.
Yeah.
So I was thinking for mine initially, I was going to build it around Jaquan.
Oh my God! Please, can we redo it?
Manny Fresh and Juvenile, and then kind of fit in whatever else I needed. I was going to make like a 90s rap song.
Manny Fresh.
Throw some Petey Pablo in there or something.
Please, right? Please.
Oh, man.
I will talk about music with you guys anytime, by the way.
There'll be much more.
This was fun.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
We're doing 99, like a music vault. We're stealing it from Mac and Goo. We're going to call it the Jukebox.
No, but we're saying Jukebox.
Great idea.
Jukebox. So we're doing our, our formative year, our summer heading into our freshman year, which was 99. What was
freshman year of college or freshman year of high school?
For us, it's high school.
Oh fuck! I was going into my junior year in high school in '99. That year, I was at that time in high school. I was a very sad sack. Longtime girlfriend had just broken up with me. Like,
we've heard this.
What is that? The breakup story that you guys have told?
Oh yeah. This is the different. This is not the poopy one. This is a different.
This is the one where you didn't know she broke up with you.
Yeah, so a girl broke up with me once and she didn't tell me, so that was cool. So it was around that time I was listening to the albums that I listened to nonstop. Make Yourself by Incubus,
love it.
nonstop.
Is that the album with Drive on it?
Yes, and a lot of Dashboard Confessional,
Ooh.
a lot of Jimmy Eat World,
Yeah, same.
a lot of little sad sack shit that I was listening to at that time. 99 is a great year, and then obviously you had like Limp Bizkit and Eminem and like all that shit. Like I think.
So are you guys gonna run it vault style with only one song getting in?
Yeah, so just so you know, we're going to do a little different. Our grand scheme is going to be different. We can go back to a year because music and movies are two different things.
Oh, 100%.
So like, we're going to start with 1999. One's going in the jukebox, and we'll kind of do it the same way. We'll present a bunch of songs. 4 will go on the list. God. People will vote, and 1 will go in. And literally, there's if you just look at the Billboard top 100.
I'm looking at it right now. It's right now.
It's
just look at the bottom 5. Like, and I know it's the crazy one, but like, there's some major hits from like country artists like George Strait. Shania Twain was huge that year. It was like her
Shania
year.
Twain songs on there, and they're all bangers.
Oh yeah,
dude. I mean,
that's like with a movie, you can be like, oh yeah, that's definitely my favorite.
Yes.
Music, it changes every hour.
We got pick one. Living La Vida Loca, Genie in a Bottle, I Want It That Way, Steal My Sunshine, What's My Age Again, Bills, Scar Tissue, Drive Me Crazy, Britney Spears, Larger Than Life, Backstreet Boys, My Name Is. Like, this year is
oh my god,
bananas.
Oh, it really is. There was a ton.
So,
go ahead, Bill.
My pitch is, I want people in the DSG, the Dork Shared Universe, to pick out their favorite year of music, and we want to have you on for the jukebox.
That's a good idea. I like it.
I like that, Bill. So just to recap this episode before, again, next week at the same time, same YouTube channel, same podcast network. Yes, we'll be debuting a song in the 1999 Pop Culture Pile Driver Jukebox. So it's going to be tough. Like, I've been stressing. I was 4th of July night and I was listening with my wife and 2 friends. I was listening to a ton of these music. I was telling people about it. I'm like,
that almost makes it worse.
It really does. Cause then like, oh, this song's great. That's great. And then me and Billy were talking about after last week's summer blockbuster episode. And we were literally like, it almost spent an extra 20 minutes just talking about it. It's an insane task. But anywho, so to recap this, let's go back in the order we did. Mac, what is your greatest song ever? I guess you call it Little Dream Team.
Yeah, so my greatest song ever dream team is Mark Ronson, who is producing, mixing, writing, along with Lady Gaga, lead vocalist. She's also going to be doing some writing. John Mayer on guitar, Dave Grohl on drums, Thundercat on bass, and I'm trying to build some sort of powerful love ballad, sort of like Shallow from A Star Is Born, something like that with Mayer and Gaga. I think would work really, really well. And so I love that lineup.
With some smooth guitar.
Yeah,
and there's some shenanigans going on in the recording booth. So that's with Mayer and Gaga. Then all right,
yeah, without doubt.
So I got Rick Rubin, Dave Grohl, Halsey, Post Malone, and Billie Eilish. So this is just going to be absolute power pop music, as close to. And again, Foo Fighters to me, you have your metal bands, you have your like hard rock, the true rock band, the one true rock band left is the Foo Fighters.
What about Pearl Jam? What are you just gonna glance over Pearl Jam?
But they're like,
he's playing the ukulele now. Like he's
name one good song in their last 3 albums.
I'm a big. They had an album 2 albums ago called Lightning Bolt, and I think it's one of their best work. That's just me. I'm not even a huge Pearl Jam fan, but
anything past Yield, they're adult contemporary to me. They're going the U2 route.
But I could see that for. I'm a huge Foo Fighters fan, but I could say that about like Sonic Highway. That was not an album. I think that was like, it was progressive idea, but the music itself kind of was like that AAA, like, man, like,
I'll give you that. The last one wasn't great.
But I will tell you this, like, I went to a Foo Fighters concert at Fenway. I went to the one where they played at Fenway. I did too. And Dave Grohl had the broken leg.
Yes. Thrown. And 2 nights.
My wife went and she's like, she knows a couple, and she was blown away by how many songs. She's like, like you're at a concert, you're like, oh my God, like I know all of these songs.
Yes.
Like, and they play and they're just like, still, like if you ever see them live, like they're incredible. Like so they never stop.
that same experience your wife had, I had with Pearl Jam, and that's what made me love them. It was like 10 years ago. I was like, Pearl Jam, I'll go, because I had free tickets all the time. And I went and I was like, I know I've not gone to more concerts than I have gone to. That I had tickets like the day after. I was like, nah, boy, I'm going to go to Qdoba and call it
all right. But then I got the young kids coming up. I got Halsey, I got Post Malone, and I got Billie Eilish. All like guaranteed hit makers, all who can sing in different keys, different ranges, different styles, different types of music. So again, this is just going to be your straight power pop music that as close to real rock as you can get, and it's going to be it's going to be about like just sweaty sex. Like that's I go to my head like that's it, man. Like that's like
I'm picturing like Halsey dripping right now. It's really getting me going. I mean?
And like Eilish bringing down the bridge, like getting like this kind of like moody little, and then
bam,
just hit it right back. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm going with.
Billy, how about you?
So I'm going with Max Martin off the top to kind of put everything together. Again, he's a super producer. He's going to take all these guys, kind of jumble them into one. I'm going to take Ariana Grande and kind of make her a funk Shaka Khan chorus almost. Because that's like the avenue I'm going to push her towards, because the rest of my guys are super funky. You got Outkast. And Andre 3000 can even play a little guitar. So if I need some guitar in the studio, he can handle that. He was Jimi Hendrix. So back him up with my backbone of the bass line and the drum line of Anderson .Paak and Joe Dart. I think I have a really solid funk fusion song that I would be excited to hear.
I would be excited to hear that.
I want to make the songs that I want to.
It's going to be technically proficient.
Yeah.
Billy, it's not about what everybody wants to hear. It's about what you want to hear. And for me, I went with Mark Ronson as my producer. I went with Paul McCartney as just a writer. So this song is going to be the best written song of the group. You guys can all suck it on that one. Will I get voted? Probably not, because I don't win these things. But Paul McCartney is a writer. Adele is my lead female vocalist. Tyler Joseph of 21 Pilots as my lead male vocalist, getting the little kids back on track on the music. And The Weeknd as my kind of soul rapper. And this is all going to be about the depression of 2020. That's what the song's going to be about. Because these guys have all written some of the saddest, most sappy, heartbreaking songs in history, and all have great vocals for that. So it's just going to be about how horrible 2020 has been. But yet there'll be just a little bit of positivity and a light at the end of the tunnel.
That's what makes a great song.
It does. Just a little. Not a lot, just a little.
I love it.
So that will be it. So we will put this post up for people to vote upon. This is going to be interesting, and I believe, in my opinion, that I don't know who's going to win this, because
it's four completely different teams.
It's four different.
It's all different song types too.
Yeah, totally. And I think it's going to depend on who comes across the random Twitter feed that shows it. I would be very intrigued to see. I don't think anyone's running away with this one. I'm just trying to think in my head. Usually when I do these drafts, I get absolutely destroyed. I never come close. I almost took the Seinfeld finale in my final pick, but decided to go with the vocalist. But yeah, I'm very intrigued to see, and there'll be a prize, just so you know, for the winner.
Oh,
yes. Yeah, we're gonna no. There's gonna be a physical prize. What it will be, you'll have to find out if you win. If I win, it's gonna really suck, because I'm basically gonna give it to myself. But nonetheless,
I bought myself a foot bath.
I should have taken the iPod.
Oh, I should have taken the iPod.
All right, before we let you guys go, Mac, why don't you tell all the good folks where they can find you?
You can find me at Fleetwood JMac, as you see there. On Twitter, you can find my podcast at Mac and Goo podcast.
Oh, we already spoiling for October. Mac and Boo.
Yeah, Mac and Boo.
Yeah.
You can find us.
Drac and Boo.
Ooh,
that's a great idea.
DM them.
I love that. Drac and Boo. You can find us on Twitter at Mac and Goo podcast. We're on every podcasting platform where we're easy to find. Google will respond in a heartbeat if you message us. So there you go.
All right. How about you, Davey?
So I am one half of the #Dork podcast of the #Dork Shared Gooniverse, along with Rich Keefe. You can find me on any social media at ArvonD on Twitter and at ArvonD603 on Instagram. I also have a Twitch page that I run Tuesday, Thursday, Sundays every night. And that's twitch.tv/ArvonD. Tonight, I don't know if you guys are interested, it's the Home Run Derby. Dinger Derby tonight. Yeah, ding dongs.
Big night.
Yeah, ding dongs all over the place. So it's a Home Run Derby. We're going to start that off right after this. So 9 o'clock, we're going to kick that off. So,
all right, love it. And don't forget, you can also follow us along at Pop Culture PD. We are still striving for 105, Bill. And you said we're about 51 followers away.
Yeah, 64. So people get to work.
Okay. So, and again, once we reach that 105, I will take a picture of myself taking a dump. We got to give the people what they think they want. I guess. Anyways, you can follow me on Twitter at Jason D. Rossi. Billy can be found at Billy D2411. This was a lot of fun. Definitely creative minds coming together. We love it. It's part of the hashtag Dork Shared Gooniverse. I think I finally said it right. You can follow that also on the old Facebook machine. That's right. Get your mother's account, log in, and make sure you give that one a old like. We're growing there, though. Don't get us wrong. We're not showers. We're growers. Yep. And so please do check that out. You can find all the Twitch information. Oh, we all are. Let's be honest. We all are.
Everyone nodded to that.
That should be the slogan.
We're all showers. Yeah, we're all growers, not showers. But yes. And then don't forget also, again, subscribe on the podcast wherever you find it, just like both of those guys with Dork and Mac and Goo. Wherever there's a podcast worth listening to, just search Pop Culture Piledriver. We'll be on there. Also, the Change My Mind podcast kind of wrap up the podcast side of the hashtag Dork Shared Gooniverse. That's all I got. You guys, any final words before we let you go?
This week we talked about Back to the Future, which you guys actually mentioned last week on your summer blockbuster. So it's a good little connection there.
It was a good episode.
Yeah. In our episode this week, we did The Last of Us Part 2, which I could have talked for 3 hours about. It was great. So if you guys want to check that out, check that out.
So I didn't get to the final part. If someone has never played the new game now, how long did it take you to finish?
I took my time. So it was around 30, 35 hours.
Okay.
But I took my time. I was like
checking all the nooks and crannies.
No, but I was like looking for there's like cards, like collectible cards you can get like in the game. So I was looking for all those and all that stuff. So I actually took my time. But any normal person, 25, 30 hours.
Okay, so for me, that probably means 110 hours. I could probably
40. Yeah.
Give or take. All right. Well, thank you guys so much again for joining us. Billy, any final words from you?
Goo and Fry from the Change My Mind podcast. We're going to be doing a Harley Quinn season 2 review, I believe Thursday, maybe 7:00 after News Dump. So check that out.
News Dump.
That was not a sound effect. I do not have that award. That was real. And for us, future episodes coming up again, we'll do a preview of the horror show at Extreme Rules. That would be podcast only on the Pop Culture Piledriver Sunday night. A little WWE wrestling action. Me and Billy will be live after. And then a week from tonight, we will go into the 1999 Pop Culture Piledriver Jukebox. We will be retiring a song. It is going to be stressful. If you want to see a bunch of music nerds sweating, watch us next week. That'll be a big part. Again, Mac, Davey, thank you guys so much for joining us. Billy, we'll catch you next week. Frank says hi.
A little baby.